my name is Tom Lord. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Inspired Villages. Real pleasure to be able to speak to you all today. Now, what I've been asked to speak to you about is the changing face of housing for an ageing population. That's what we do as operators and developers of retirement villages. So first, I just wanted to let you know a little bit about Inspired Villages. And Inspired Villages was established in 2017 when Legal & General acquired a company called English Care Villages, who were operating and developing 2 villages at that time, one in Warwick, which is Austin Heath, close to Leamington Spa there, and one in Gifford Lee, which is up in Cheshire. The core team of English Care Villages came over and leading Inspired Villages. So that includes our CEO, Jamie Bunce, as well as our Development Director and our Group Sales and Marketing Director, Neil Dale and James Cobb. And then in November of 2017, Legal & General grew the business further through the acquisition of a company called Renaissance Villages, which brought further 4 villages into the fold, giving us 6 villages altogether. Now, last year we commenced on site with our 7th and 8th communities, Ledding Gardens down in Kent and Elderswell in Bedfordshire. And so far, since those initial 6, we've added 2,500 units that are in planning and construction to those initial 6 villages. Future sites include a great site in Kingswood in Surrey, one in Caddington, one in Chandler's Ford and Tunbridge Wells that will be coming forward very soon, and there are many more to follow. But what are retirement villages? Well, we say they're safe and secure communities for the over 65s. They really are designed to maximise well-being, whilst enabling people to maintain dignity and privacy behind their own front door for the rest of their lives. Our homes are designed to be age appropriate. As people age, we've got features like wider doorways and staircases. We've got highest plug sockets, lower kitchen worktops, and we also include smart technology in the homes so that people get the maximum benefit from living with us and being part of a community. The facilities at the villages include great restaurants and bars, cafe, but also gym with some of the latest gym equipment in them, which is ideally suited to the over 65s. We've got salons and swimming pools. You can see some of the images there on this slide. We also offer around 200 activities a month in normal time. These are spread across physical, mental and social well-being. So everything from Pilates to walking groups, choirs, and just coffee mornings for people to get together and have that social interaction. What we also make sure is in place and is part of the offering are care options. So we engage with a third-party care provider to provide domiciliary care to those that need it, where our teams that are employed at the village are focused and trained on being caring. So not providing care ourselves, but really sitting with residents, having a cup of tea, making sure that they're living the best life that they can. What I wanted to do was let you hear from a few of our residents. Now, this is a video put together in the last months as we've been finding our way through the pandemic and keeping people safe, but also trying to ensure that people didn't feel isolated through this period of isolation.
In times like these, it's easy to become isolated and feel lonely. At Inspired Villages, residents have found living in one of our communities has made a real difference to their mental well-being. Our communities are wonderful places, and during the pandemic, people have really come together.
I don't think loneliness comes into living at Millbrook.
No, I don't think we've ever felt lonely here from the moment we moved in.
We're very welcoming.
You still see people if you walk around the village, so you could always have a brief chat. You will always see a face.
Our social life is definitely different now to where we used to be.
Here it's more actually being friends with people who are like-minded.
It's a bit like an extended family. So we've got the biggest family we've had now.
And the Inspired team is always on hand to provide a spot of entertainment.
So there are quiz nights and plenty of exercise classes, stretch and tone, Tai Chi, Pilates, and things like the library is open here and the cinema is open. So there would be lots of things for you to do.
So we've not been at all bored. Days fly by really.
The retirement villages are a really good concept. But if you're lonely in a place like this, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Moving to an inspired village couldn't be easier. Is it time you made the move? Visit inspiredvillages.co.uk.
Now, moving on. When we look at this sector in the UK compared to other countries where this the market is more mature, you can see that in the UK we have a 0.8% penetration across housing with retirement villages, whereas this sector in the US is up at 6%. Australia and New Zealand 5.5%. And for the UK to match Australia, we'd need another 400,000 units available to older adults, which just shows the size of the opportunity over time. And significant benefits, and this is why it works in other countries, but highlighted here are just a few of them. There's 46% decrease in GP visits by living in a retirement community, 31% decrease in planned hospital admissions. And when people do go into hospital, post-operative care is reduced dramatically. Our residents and residents across the retirement village sector stay in hospital for around 1 to 2 days post-operation, and compared to an average of the UK of 8 to 14 days. And that's because the support is available to them. There's a 50% drop in the need to move to a care home. And this is because through domiciliary care, people can be looked after behind their own front doors, in their own homes, supported by a community. Each retirement village resident saves the NHS and social care system £3,500 in a year. You can imagine how that adds up if we grow to the scale that is needed. So talking about the opportunity again. At the moment, there's 12 million over 65s in the UK. And that's only expected to grow. As all of you will know, we're looking at 18 million over 65s by 2040. And the UK has only got 78,000 housing with care units or retirement village units. It's the equivalent to a 0.8% penetration. So there's massive undersupply. And there's only 7,000 units being built a year. So a real opportunity for this sector to grow in coming years. And we talked about the benefits earlier. And just imagine the number of houses within the property, within the ladder, that are freed up by somebody that lives in their family home, moving on into a retirement community. Into housing that's perfect for them. That'd free up 2 to 3 properties lower down the chain. Now you can see in this in the graph on the right hand side, the bubble chart, all of the key players and where they play. And obviously there's a big opportunity to widen the solution to more markets, and especially the mid-market, which is where we're looking to move to, as well as continuing to offer our premium offering. And forecast growth. It's worth just reflecting at this point on what is the difference between retirement housing and housing with care. So retirement housing is your typical retirement flats, the likes of McCarthy and Stone, Churchill, they offer this. Whereas the sector we play in is housing with care. And you can see on here that the forecast growth for housing with care, retirement villages, is significantly more than that of retirement housing. And we do see that there's a real opportunity in this sector. And that growth and the funding is being fueled through both private equity and institutional capital. So you may have seen recently that Lone Star successfully bid for McCarthy and Stone. AXA Real Assets owns a company called Retirement Villages, and Legal & General has both ourselves, Inspired Villages, and Guild Living, which is a urban location provider of retirement villages, so very much focused on town centres. You've got Goldman Sachs in, who have established Riverstone, and Royal London Octopus and Schroders have entered JVs with Audley, who are the most established operator at the moment. And then you've got Carlyle Group. So there's a lot of investment and a lot of interest in entering this sector to continue its growth in the future. Just some closing thoughts. I think sentiment is changing towards retirement villages. People are starting to understand what it is that's on offer. This isn't a gated community. They're not ghettos for old people. These are thriving communities that are focused on well-being and enjoying great, healthier years of life. That focus that we've got on holistic well-being and ensuring our elders live the best years of their life is really coming through. We've had a lot of great initiatives through the lockdown period, and a lot of innovation coming through, and we've seen great increases in our Net Promoter Score from our residents. I think there's a big opportunity to widen the playing field. How can we get more people to afford to move in to these communities? And part of that is on us as the developers and operators, and making it more affordable. And that takes us looking at the design and the positioning, but also it's giving people more options to be able to afford it. So Legal & General introduced their lifetime mortgage, which has helped a number of our residents release capital and some to help them move. But more options need to be made available. More tenure options, which we've created through the rental proposition, as well as the outright purchase. But what else can be done? That increasing interest for investment in the sector is fueling the growth, and we should hopefully see the sector kind of move on through that growth curve over the coming years, delivering a lot more properties for the aging demographic, and then a need for planning legislation to support the growth of the sector. We think there should be 20% of new housing should be built for the elders. This would be a benefit for the whole of the housing sector, ensuring that older adults have great places to live, but also freeing up those properties that are being taken up at the moment. That's it from me. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you today. I think there may be a bit of a Q&A if we've got time, and I look forward to speaking to you and answering your questions in just a second.